However, I do believe that God is also calling us to do something even greater. And that is to go into another fast for the year 2022. For the first 21 days. Those of you that experienced it last year, I've heard some incredible testimonies of what God did. So what does that mean? That means that what I would like for you to do for the next week is to pray and ask God what kind of fast He wants you to do. Is it a full food fast? Is it a partial food fast? Is it a social media fast? What does that look like for you, for your family? Or maybe you're at a place where you're not ready for that. Because here's what I will tell you. Do not enter a fast without God in the presence of it. Because you will fail. I promise. I've been there. But when God is leading it, when it is God-led and under God's authority, it is to draw us closer to Him. To get rid of the chaos in our life, to get rid of the things that cause us to be blinded or to His sensitivity. And so I want you to take the next week and to truly pray. If God even wants you to be part of this. But here's what I want you to see. This is the reason that we're going to fast. And it's Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58. And it says this in verse 6. It says, "Is this not the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke." It is not to share, is it not to share your bread with the hungry, that you bring your house and the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked, that you cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh. Then your light shall break forth like the morning. Your healing shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call on the Lord, and He will answer you. And you shall cry, and He will say, "Here am I." If you take away the yokes from your midst, the pointing of the finger, and the speaking wickedness, if you extend your soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. The Lord will guide you continually, and satisfy your soul in the drought, and the strength of your bones. You shall be like watered gardens, and all the springs of water, those waters do not fail. Those from among you shall build old waste places, and you shall rise up the foundations of many generations. And you shall be called the repairers of the breach, and the restorers of the streets to dwell in. The reason that we will be fasting is to be restorers and repairers. Because that is what we are called to do, is to restore and repair. So I ask you, I challenge you, don't take this lightly. Because what I do want to warn you against is if you enter into this agreement to fast, I will promise you the evil one's coming. You have made the bullseye on your back bigger. I can stand here and give you testimony after testimony after testimony of fasting and seeing things happen that can only be explained by fasting. And the enemy doesn't like it. Why? Because it sets people free. And so I'm asking you to prayerfully consider it. And as we come back next week, we will talk more in detail about it. And then we will enter into it for the first 21 days. You don't have to tell me you're fasting. It's between you and God. It's not anything to, if you are fasting and you want to tell us, please do, because we want to be praying for you. We want to be lifting you up. We want you to know that you're not alone. We want you to understand that there are things, maybe this is a time where God wants to draw you to draw near to Him and get rid of some things in our lives, but also to understand that we're called to restore, we're called to repair, and that's exactly what 2022 is going to look like, is a restorative, reparative year where we're going to be going outside the walls. Things are still going to be happening inside, but outside is coming so that we can be restorers and repairers. Our community needs us to be that. Our community needs a light in the dark. And God's called us to be that. That's the reason that God called us to the name He's called us to. And we're going to go start living out that name in 2022. So, be in prayer about how God wants to lead you, where He wants to restore you, and where He wants to bring you into this.